Today, we are following a very tense and dramatic development that is currently happening in Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, has once again made headlines in a courtroom showdown that has captured the attention of the entire nation. This is not just another court case. This is a confrontation that has political, legal, and social implications, and it is happening live before our eyes. On Monday in Abuja, at the Federal High Court, presided over by Justice Binta Nyako, Nnamdi Kanu faced the court. But instead of a usual hearing, what happened was tense, dramatic, and almost cinematic. Kanu openly challenged the authority of the judge. He told the court that he did not recognize her jurisdiction over his trial and demanded that the case be moved to the Southeast region. He said that because of the judge's earlier recusal, she no longer had the authority to preside over the case. Now, the situation in the courtroom was electric. People were holding their breath as Kanu, speaking strongly, interrupted proceedings and even wanted to speak for himself instead of allowing his lawyers to speak. He accused the prosecution of bending the law, acting unfairly, and said openly, "You are biased. I will not submit myself to this." These were not ordinary courtroom words. They were powerful, and they changed the energy in the courtroom immediately. The judge, Justice Nyako, had earlier recused herself, saying that she would step back from the case. However, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, John Soho, had returned the case file to her, stating that a formal motion was required to properly remove her from the case. This technicality became the center of the argument. Kanu insisted that the proper procedure was not followed and that his trial should not continue under her authority. After a tense back and forth, the judge decided to adjourn the case indefinitely. This is known as adjourning the case sine die. That means there is no set date for the next hearing, leaving many questions unanswered. This is a situation that affects more than just Kanu. It affects public perception of the legal system, trust in the judiciary, and even political stability. Now, why is this important? First, it brings up serious questions about jurisdiction and fairness in the judiciary. Kanu's challenge is about whether the court is following proper procedures. Is the judge allowed to continue even after our recusal? How does the court maintain independence while ensuring fairness? These are not small questions. They are at the heart of public trust in Nigeria's legal system. Second, the political and ethnic undertones cannot be ignored. Kanu is a highly controversial figure. As the leader of IPOB, his actions are tied to the movement for Biafra, which carries strong emotions in the Southeast region. His courtroom confrontation is not just about legal procedure. It is also about asserting political rights, calling out perceived bias, and rallying support. This makes the case highly sensitive and closely watched across the country. Third, this case sets a potential precedent for future legal actions in Nigeria. How the judiciary handles this challenge could influence how recusal is treated in other cases, how defendants assert their rights, and how high-profile trials are conducted. It is a test of the balance between following the law and maintaining order in politically charged situations. And let's not forget the human and public perspective. Courtroom confrontations like these capture national attention. They influence how ordinary citizens view the justice system. When a high-profile figure challenges a judge openly, people start asking, is the system fair? Is it working properly? This matters because public confidence is essential for the stability of the legal system and the country as a whole. So what happens next? There are several possibilities. One is that the case might be reassigned to another judge, potentially even in the Southeast region, as Kanu requested. Another possibility is that Kanu's legal team will file a formal motion to remove the current judge from the case. Either way, the process could take months, and the indefinite adjournment leaves everyone watching the case in suspense. We also have to consider appeals and higher court interventions. This case might move to the Supreme Court if the issues of jurisdiction, recusal, and fairness are disputed further. That means this courtroom confrontation could have long-term consequences for Nigerian law and the way future trials are handled. Now let's also think about the broader conversation here. This is about the balance between national security and individual rights. On one hand, the government wants to maintain territorial integrity and ensure peace. On the other hand, Kanu and his supporters argue that they have the right to advocate for self-determination. This tension is not just legal, it is social, political, and deeply emotional. I want you to think about this as we continue watching the story unfold. How far should the government go to protect the nation? And how far should individuals go to assert their rights? What is fair and what is overreach? These are questions that are being played out in real time in the courtroom, in the media, and in communities across the country. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the bell so you don't miss updates as this story develops. The next chapters in this courtroom drama are coming, and we will be here to break them down for you in real time. Kanu's confrontation also shows the power of speaking out. Regardless of which side you take, he has made his position very clear. He is asserting his rights, questioning the authority of the judge, and challenging the process. This is not something that happens every day, and it gives us a lot to think about in terms of law, rights, and accountability.